In the beginning of the film, we see Violet who is being tortured badly by her husband, and the argument between them makes it clear that this was not happening for the first time. Now Violet was exhausted. Her husband was also pointing a gun at her. So, Violet also takes out the gun hidden with her. Whether she shot her husband or not is not shown. And the scene changes. After many years, we are again shown Violet, who is appearing stronger. Now her husband was no longer with her. As a part of her job, she provides therapy to those women who have been abused by their husbands. Her sister and son live in the same house. And today, after many years, she finally agrees to meet someone at her sister's insistence. She had not seen Henry till date, whom Violet had to meet. She also came to the five-star restaurant told by him. As she arrives here, she bumps into a man. Well, she does not pay attention to him and makes her way to outdoor seat by the side, where she starts talking to the waitress. Then an old man named Richard comes near her, and he calls her by some other name. Then Violet looks at him in surprise. Actually, he was thinking that Violet is his friend, but his friend had not come yet. In this way, both Violet and Richard start talking to each other. After a while, Richard's friend also comes, with whom he goes to his table. And Violet notices here that someone was sending drops to her phone. It means someone was sending pictures and messages to Violet without a contact number. Drops can only be sent by a person who is sitting very close to Violet. She looks around and finds that everyone's phones were like her phone. Everyone was using the phone. She could not find out who was sending her drops. She was thinking all this when Henry also came here, and all her attention went towards Henry. Now Henry and Violet come to their table and start talking formally to each other. When Henry asks Violet about her son, she immediately thinks of checking her phone. She checks if her sister's message has not been received, but she checks that she still received many drops, about which she tells Henry. Henry also starts looking around because he also knew that the person sending the drops must be close to them. Violet starts ignoring them, but after a few drops, she receives a message, which shocks her because it was written in the message, "Check your security camera." She quickly accesses the CCTV footage of her house, and she watches that some masked men had entered her house. They also had a gun in their hands at this time. And seeing this, Violet loses all her senses. Before she can tell Henry about this, she receives new message in which the sender was warning her to keep quiet about this. Panicking, Violet gets up from here and goes a little away, and she tries to call the police. Then she receives the next message, that "I have cloned your phone. Now I can see whatever you are doing on your phone. Don't try to call the police. Otherwise, you will be responsible for the consequences." During all this, she again bumps into the same person with whom she had collided with earlier. Violet ignores it once again and goes to the washroom. She was trying to ask help from girls going to the washroom, but she again got a message that "Don't do any trickery," and Violet understood that the person has an eye on her everywhere. That is why she comes back to her table without telling anything to anyone. She again started talking to Henry, adjusting her expression. And here she asks that man on the phone, "Who are you and what do you want?" Then that man tells Violet that Henry is a photographer who is in front of you. He has his camera, whose memory card you have to take out and break. She could have done this only when Henry was not on her table. To send him away from here, she smartly takes off her watch and hides it in her bag. And she tells Henry that "Maybe I have lost my watch somewhere. Will you find it?" Henry agrees to her and goes to find her watch. And in the meantime, she takes out Henry's camera from his bag. This camera had some photos of the mayor and documents, which means there was proof of the mayor's corruption. Whoever was there, he was longing to erase the evidence through Violet. She removes the memory card and quickly puts the camera back. Then Henry also comes there. After saying a couple of things, she goes to the washroom again, and she breaks that memory card while coming here, and she again sends a message to that man conveying that "I have done your work. Now take out your men from my house." But that man says, "Who told you that the work has accomplished? There is still work left. Open the toolbox here. There is a small container in it. You have to make Henry drink the liquid of this container somehow." She understood that it was poison. She could not take anyone's life. She clearly refuses to do this work. That man says okay, if you do not kill him, then your son will die. Her son was her weakness. Here she got trapped and got ready to kill Henry by getting blackmailed by this man. Scared, she came out of the washroom. Then her eyes fell on the same man with whom she had collided twice. She noticed that this man was sitting alone on this table for a long time, and he was also using the phone. She felt that this man is sending her drops. Before she could say anything, she sees Henry about to get up on the table. She goes to him. Then Henry tells her that I feel you are not comfortable with me. You are repeatedly making excuses to go away from me. Then it is better that I should go from here. At this moment, Violet stops him and kisses him and asks him to stay. She says that I don't have any problem with you. I want you to stay here. While they were conversing, a girl leaves from there making a lot of noise. She was the same girl who had come to that old man Richard, with whom Violet had talked a lot as soon as she came here. Seeing this, Violet feels bad, and she also encourages him through eye contact. After this, Violet's eyes turn to that pianist. He also had a bowl with him in which money was being collected. Seeing this, an idea came to her mind, and she took out a banknote and wrote, "Help me," on it with her lipstick. She calls the waiter and sends this banknote to the pianist. But the waiter had already kept that banknote in that crystal bowl. Violet's eyes were constantly on that bowl. She did not expect that he would see this banknote. But luckily this man saw that banknote. Seeing this, he also called someone. Violet thought that maybe he had called the police. Meanwhile, the waiter served their food, and Violet noticed her own given banknote in the food plate, on the other side of which the same person had again warned Violet. She looked back and thought that pianist was blackmailing her, because after drinking a drink, that man fell down right there. This was definitely the trick of the same man who did not want the police to come there. Violet had committed a big mistake, and she had shown a lot of cleverness from her side. That man again messages Violet to check the security cameras, and Violet sees that now that man had started torturing her son and sister. Even her younger son was locked alone in a room. She again receives a message that if you want to make everything right, then complete your task. While reading this, she says to Henry that I bring something to drink for you. The waitress gives her the drink, and as she was about to mix something in the drink, she immediately gets another message that you have to do this work while sitting at your table. She takes these drinks and keeps them on her table and starts talking to Henry. She asks Henry, "What did you see in me that you came to meet me?" Henry says that I do not meet many people, and I do not use dating profiles at all, because most of the people lie there about themselves. But that day I noticed that you had written the truth about yourself. I liked this thing and I came to meet you. Hearing this, Violet also felt good that Henry had come here for her truth. She starts telling the rest of the reality and past of her life to Henry. That her husband used to torture her a lot, that too in front of her son. As a result, she fell apart emotionally. He used to apologize to me after torturing, and he also used to act as if everything has become normal. I also used to think that maybe he was genuinely sorry. I kept forgiving him again and again to save my home, but nothing was going to settle. When I understood, I moved on from all of this. While telling this, she became very emotional. Henry encourages her and goes to get some chocolates to improve her mood. Taking advantage of the situation, Violet mixes 2-3 drops of poison in his drink, and she gives it to him to drink as soon as she comes. Henry was about to drink it, but then Violet realized that she is doing something very wrong. She could not even tell him, so she deliberately spilled the drink on Henry, due to which he could not drink his poison drink. Now his dress got spoiled due to the spilled drink. Henry goes to the washroom to clean it. Here the man messages Violet again and writes that you are trying to be too smart. Seeing this, Violet gets very angry, and she feels that this message has been sent by the same man who had bumped into her. She was about to go to talk to him when his partner came here. She gets confused that if he was really waiting for someone, then who was sender of those messages. Now she goes to the waitress. The waitress says to her that I have been noticing this for a long time. You look a bit nervous. Is your partner troubling you? If this is the situation, then I can help you. Such situations keep happening here every day. But Violet does not say anything to her, and she says that everything is fine here. Henry is also fine. Now Violet asks the same waitress about that man with whom she had bumped. Then the waitress says that this man keeps coming here. He always reserves the front table. But today he gets this table. Violet sees that Richard was sitting on that table. And seeing this, the shock starts gripping her mind. She goes to Richard with 2 drinks. She offers him a drink. Richard says, "No, Violet, I have had a drink." Hearing her name from his mouth, Violet's doubt turns into certainty that the one who sent her the drops is none other than Richard, because since she came here, she had not told Richard her name even once. Violet asks him, "How do you know my name?" Hearing this, Richard starts laughing, and he asks her to sit on the chair in front of him and also offers her to have a drink. Violet knew that she cannot refuse anything of his. After drinking, she asks, "What do you want?" Richard says that only my last work is left. You also know that. Just complete that work, and I will free you and your son. By the way, I have to praise you. You are very clever. You also saved Henry from drinking. But because of you, a big mess happened. That poor pianist got killed despite being innocent. Thank God I saw your banknote. If I hadn't noticed it, we would have been killed. During these talks, Henry also arrives here and asks Violet if everything is fine. Violet replies, "Yes, he is Richard, my friend." Henry and Richard say hello to each other, after which Violet gives Henry a drink. Henry drinks it, accepting Violet's offer while standing here. After making him drink this, she tells Henry to go and sit at your table. I will just join you after talking to Richard for a little while. Now she says, "Come on, get your man out of my house." Richard also saw that Violet has completed his task. That's why he calls his man and tells him that the work is done. After which he also starts having his dinner comfortably, and Violet sits here and watches him having his dinner. When he eats half of his food, Violet says, "I lied to you. I did not mix poison in Henry's drink." Seeing this, Richard understands and starts gazing at his food. And he remembers that moment when Richard was looking at Henry drinking that drink. Taking advantage of the momentary distraction, Violet mixed the poison in his food, and the drink he gave to Henry did not have the poison in it. Now, as Richard comes to know about this, he takes out his gun in a fit of rage. Seeing this, Violet quickly gets up, stepping backward, and everyone looks at them. Henry had also seen all this from behind. He comes in front of Violet Saver. When Richard fires the gun, the bullet hits Henry, and he again stepped towards Violet to kill her. Before he could fire the bullet, the waitress comes from behind and attacks his hand, due to which his hand bends and the bullet hits the glass window of the hotel. Seeing this, he also gets angry at the waitress, and he attacks the waitress with a knife. And in this attack, the poor waitress also gets injured. After injuring her, he again comes in front of Violet holding a gun, and this time Violet picks up something lying near her and throws it towards him, to save himself, from which Richard moves aside. But because of that thing, all the glass behind him breaks. And because of the high pressure of air, the wind pulls Richard, and he falls down from the building and dies. The wind had also pulled Violet, but just in time when she was about to fall down. Henry moved ahead and saved her by holding her hand. After the effort, Henry pulls her up safely. At this time, Henry and waitress were injured. But Violet cares about her son before that. She takes the keys of Henry's car, calls the police, and quickly leaves for her house. It is shown at home that the kidnapper was torturing both Violet's son and sister. Both of them dodged the kidnapper to escape and managed to lock themselves in the room, forcing him out. But that man had a gun through which he opened the door very easily by hitting the lock. As he enters, he shoots Violet's sister with the same gun. And now he was about to kill Violet's son too, when he heard the sound of something knocking from outside. Actually, Violet had already come inside, who had picked up a knife as soon as she came. As the kidnapper comes in front of her, she goes ahead and attacks him by stabbing the knife in his shoulder. This kidnapper picks up Violet in fury and throws her away. Now Violet is weak in front of this man. The man was coming forward to kill her. Violet could not do anything, but then her son delivers a gun to her through his remote control car, which Violet quickly picks up and shoots at that man and saves her life. Finally, Violet had saved her son from this danger. After some time, we are shown a scene where Violet had gone to the hospital with food for Henry and for her sister. Her sister was also saved because the bullet had just passed by touching her arm. And now Henry was also very comfortable. She had also decided to make a family with Henry, and all these people were also happy. And the movie ends here showing just this.